Last month, I made a video on 10 steel watches that tank in value on the secondary market. Turns out you loved it, and YouTube's algorithm made it very clear that I should keep this train rolling. So today, we're doing the same thing, but with precious metals. We're talking watches that lose up to 70% of their retail price. That means you can grab something that was once laughably out of reach for a fraction of the cost. If these videos, mine or anyone else's, prove anything, it's that calling any watch a smart investment is pure fantasy. Buy what you love, wear what speaks to you, that's the whole point of this hobby. Quick heads up, prices swing based on condition, box and papers, and where you're buying. My numbers are based on real listings I've seen and tracked. Also worth noting that many of the steepest discounts are in Hong Kong. So do your homework before committing. The last thing you want is to hand over cash to a scammer and end up with a fake. One more thing before we dive in. Some of these watches aren't identical to their current retail versions, but using a new watch's retail price as a benchmark can still be informative and relevant, especially in a value-driven or price-conscious discussion. And it is a rational way to illustrate potential savings on purchases or similar alternatives. Alright, let's get into it, starting with the least discounted and working our way down to the biggest deals. First up, the Omega Speedmaster Professional in Moonshine Gold. This is one of Omega's flagship Speedmasters, but let's be real, it's no Patek when it comes to holding value. Omega pumps out Speedmasters in every possible flavor. Steel, gold, platinum, ceramic. You name it, they've made it. And that's the problem. Flood the market and the resale prices tank. Now don't get me wrong, this is a gorgeous watch. The dial plays perfectly off the Moonshine Gold case, and the movement packs all the vintage-inspired tech you'd want. But here's the kicker. On the used market, you'll find these 30 to 35% below retail, saving you up to $16,000 for a mint, unworn example with box and papers. That's a massive discount on a watch from one of the biggest names in the game. The Vacheron Constantin Overseas is one of today's hottest integrated bracelet watches in steel. But slap some gold on it and suddenly people aren't nearly as excited. Here's the thing, the Overseas is objectively spectacular. It's that perfect blend of sporty and elegant, with finishing that'll make your eyes water and a movement worthy of the VC name. Yet for some reason, the gold versions, especially some older ones on straps, have taken a brutal 45 to 50% hit on the secondary market. The bracelet models fare slightly better at about 20% in depreciation. That's still rough for a $60,000 watch. If you've been eyeing an Overseas but couldn't stomach the retail prices, the secondary market is practically begging you to take one home. Just maybe think twice before going for the gold, unless you're getting that killer discount. Let's be brutally honest about the Rolex Skydweller. Paying retail is like throwing cash into a bonfire. Take this pink gold model on rubber. It's technically brilliant, visually stunning, and mechanically impressive. But here's the cold truth. It's a resale disaster. The numbers don't lie. At retail, you're looking at heart-stopping pricing that few can justify. And here's why the secondary market punishes it. I just counted over 1,000 precious metal Skydwellers available right now. That's not scarcity, that's market saturation. Older models, 50 to 55% off retail, about $33,000 saved on a complete set. Current versions, still 30% discounts, landing around $42,000. The verdict couldn't be clearer. If you want a gold Skydweller, the secondary market is your only sane option. Pay retail and you're not buying a watch. You're buying an expensive lesson in depreciation. Let's talk about the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Thin Moon, the absolute embodiment of quiet luxury. Here's the shocking part. These lose 50 to 55% of their value on the secondary market. JLC isn't just another Swiss brand. They're the watchmaker's watchmaker. These are the people who built movements for Patek, AP, and Vacheron. Movements those brands still use today. But because they don't shout as loud as Rolex, the market completely overlooks them. I recently spotted a Gold Master Ultra Thin Moon in great condition, complete with box and papers. going for 58% off retail. That's about $10,000 for a watch with heritage and craftsmanship. Let that sink in. For the price of a basic Datejust, you're getting one of the most refined watches from one of the most respected manufacturers in history. That's not just a good deal, that's criminal undervaluation. Next up, the Breguet Classique, a masterpiece from one of watchmaking's founding fathers. This collection represents Breguet at its absolute best. And here's something remarkable. You can own one for half price. Don't let the Swatch Group ownership fool you. When it comes to finishing and pure craftsmanship, Breguet still operates in a league of its own. Yet the secondary market treats these watches like they're ordinary, which is great news for smart buyers. Here's how good the deals get. 50 to 55% off retail. The best I've seen, 58% off or just $10,000 for a complete set in excellent condition. If you appreciate true watchmaking artistry and want something that stands apart from the usual suspects, this is your moment. A pre-owned Classique isn't just a good deal, it's a steal. The Omega Constellation Globemaster in gold gives you everything you'd want from a Datejust or a Santos, except the resale value. And that's exactly why you should be looking at it. Here's the reality. These are trading at 55 to 60% off retail on the secondary market. I've seen pristine example with box and papers going for 60% off, just over $10,000. For less than half the retail price, you're getting Omega's most refined dress watch, solid gold construction, that stunning pipe hand dial, and all the heritage of the Constellation line. If you like the idea of a gold dress watch but don't like burning money, this is your play. The Globemaster delivers all the quality without the premium. When you hear Blancpain, you think 50 fathoms, not dress watches. And that's exactly why the Villeray 8 Days is one of the best kept secrets in watch collecting. This thing should be on every dress watch shortlist. The finishing, impeccable. The movement, a proper 8-day power reserve. But because Blancpain doesn't get the recognition it deserves, these get slaughtered on the secondary market. We're talking 55 to 60% off for the time and date models in red gold. Here's what that looks like in real numbers. $13,000 gets you a complete set in excellent condition. That's 56% off retail for what might be the most underrated dress watch from one of Switzerland's oldest houses. If you actually wear your watches instead of flipping them, this is how you get Patek quality at half price. The market's sleeping on Blancpain. Take advantage. The Portugieser is hands down IWC's most compelling collection. But here's something most buyers don't realize. The gold models absolutely tank in value the moment they leave the boutique. Take the Automatic 42 with 7-day power reserve. This is serious watchmaking. Solid 18-karat gold case, that gorgeous clean dial, and enough juice to run for a week. Yet on the secondary market, prices plummet 60 to 65%. The best deal I've tracked was 63% off retail. Let's put that in perspective. You're getting IWC's signature design, gold case at steel watch prices, one of the best power reserves in the business, and all the elegance of a proper dress watch. If you appreciate the Portugieser's clean aesthetic, this is your moment. The market's undervaluing these so severely it's almost irresponsible not to consider one. Here's the thing about the Endeavour from h.moser & C. It's the kind of watch that makes you pause. This isn't just another luxury timepiece. It's from an independent brand that nails the balance between bold and understated. Think vibrant, hypnotic dials paired with flawless finishing, all wrapped in a minimalist design that screams for attention. As an example, a brand new Endeavour Vanta Black in red gold will cost you around $30,000. But here's where it gets interesting. The used market slashes that price hard. We're talking 65 to 70% off for similar Endeavour models. That's up to $18,000 in savings. Even an unworn Vanta Black in red gold can be had for 30% off. And I bet these prices will keep falling. If you've ever wanted a Moser, now's the time to hunt. The value here is real, and the watches, they're something special. Here's the deal with Parmigiani. They're still the new kid on the block, but they've already nailed something most brands chase for decades. a design you can spot across the room. Take the Ton de chronograph. New, it'll cost you an absurd amount. But search a bit and you'll find older models, same DNA, just a slightly different face, selling for pennies on the dollar. I've seen them as low as $12,000, which is a 67% haircut off retail. So here's the move. If you like the older chronographs, and honestly, why wouldn't you? Skip the authorized dealer's markup. The secondary market is where the smart money's going. These watches are legit, and the savings are too big to ignore. Here's the bottom line. Buying gold watches new is a fast way to burn money. But go pre-owned and you're suddenly playing a smarter game. These 10 watches prove it. Massive savings, same prestige, zero regrets. The truth is simple. Watches depreciate, often hard. And that's not a bad thing if you're the one buying. You get top-tier watches for a fraction of the price. And if you ever sell, the hit won't keep you up at night. So tell me, which of these watches did you like? Drop it in the comments. And if this was useful, hit like and subscribe. These videos take serious work, and your support makes it worth it. Take care and catch you next time.